Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It's time for another reaction video to do some bad slash bizarre book covers. Starting off, as we typically do, with comparing it to something I have, we have Jane Eyre. Yes, this is the copy I have, and it looks normal. Then you have this, and what's in the setting here? The 70s? 60s? I don't know. It's just a complete different setting. It's not to completely bad. I mean, who knows? Maybe there is a adaptation of Jane Eyre that changes the setting from the 60s or 70s. I mean, I can't exactly tell from that fashion. I'm no fashion expert. And the only adaptation I've seen of Jane Eyre is I Walked with a Zombie, which was, of course, set in the 1940s. But anyway, that's the first cover. Not exactly bizarre, but it is a bit on the bad side. Anyway, let's carry on. Moving on, we have The Scarlet Letter. Yes, this is the copy I own, excluding the text at the bottom, which my copy does not have. But it is a very dignified copy cover by Arcturus. And now we turn to this. Yes, this, hmm. Yes, this is definitely the story of a 17th century woman who has an affair with a man and gives birth to an illegitimate child. Yes, this is definitely it. God's sake. Let's move on. Now, for a change of pace, how about a book I do not have? And that would be The Trial of Jesus from a Lawyer's Standpoint, Volume 2 of 3, The Roman Trial, and let's ask ourselves one simple question. Why are we looking at fungi? You're saying there's no short supply of depictions of Jesus that they couldn't have just, use a painting or a scene or a movie scene or whatever. This just is baffling. It's not like Jesus is an obscure figure. It just makes no damn sense. Oh my lord. Not only are certainly fungi, but I can't imagine whoever approved this cover image is a fun guy. With that failed attempt at a pun, let's move on. Next up, we have something from Charles Dickens. No, not A Christmas Carol. A Town of Two Cities, a story of the French Revolution. So you're wondering, how could this possibly be screwed up? I mean, just look at the cover I have. It's clearly a public domain thing. It's a painting. The painting being Arrest in the Second Court of the Bastille by Charles Thevenin. I don't speak French that great. I have no idea how the surname's supposed to be pronounced. Anyway, you're probably wondering how does one screw this up? Behold, feast your eyes, glut your souls, and wonder what on earth is less. The Northmen did conduct raids in France. There were battles involving Norsemen and around what we now call France. I should correctly say, as at the time it was West Francia. There were battles, there were two sieges of Paris, but it's, uh, yeah, they clearly were not, there was clearly no Viking raids or battles during the time of the French Revolution. After all, the Viking Age ended in 1066 with the Battle of Stamford Bridge. Good lord. What's next? Oh, you'll see. Next up, we have something from Jane Austen. Northanger Abbey. Yes, this is, well, it's almost my copy. My copy is actually blue, and the cover image is Chawton House and Church from 1809. It looks very respectable. Now, look at this, and good lord, that's not bizarre, that's just plain bad, isn't it? Just random pictures from a movie adaptation, and ugh. It just looks cluttered. Who on earth thinks this is a good idea? Wonderful question, isn't it? But we have more on the way. Let's go. I apologize, I lied. I forgot about this one. What the actual heck am I looking at? No, no, that's just disrespectful. Who in the right mind approved this? Who in the right mind? You'd have to be in the completely wrong mind to approve this. No sane person would approve this. What am I looking at? Ugh. Ugh. Hold on, do I have any more for Northanger Abbey? No, there's no more for Northanger Abbey, but we do have to backtrack because there's two for A Tale of Two Cities I forgot. Yes, well, starting off with this, the choice of image isn't too bad, but, yeah, the stuff at the top, rather cheap, very, very cheaply done. It looks it looks perfectly respectable with the choice of image, but then you just have that cheap-looking text at the top. But, hold on one moment. I have no idea where that is, but it's definitely not. Oh boy. I just don't know. It's not even the right century. Who is in charge of approving these? Logically, it can't be one person, but you have to ask yourself if such an if there's just some one person doing all this because of just how odd it all is. Oh boy. Well, that's it for A Town of Two Cities. Let's move on. Up next, we have The Brick Itself, Les Miserables. And now for Exhibit B. Well, it wouldn't have looked so bad if they had just used, that public domain image, whatever painting that is. But then they just have, yeah. Now, I do like the 2012 film, the 2012 film, but, I don't know. All the rest of it just messes us up to insane degrees. Well, maybe not insane, maybe half sane degrees, but it doesn't really look appealing. So, yeah, let's move on. Next up, we have a story from Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, featuring his greatest creation, The Lost World, the first of the Professor Challenger stories. What, you thought I was talking about a Sherlock Holmes story? Don't be absurd. And now for Exhibit B, and isn't this just, well, we've done one of Lee's covers before, but, yeah, it doesn't look any less cheap now, does it? I mean, yeah, it's just one of the cheapest things you'll ever see when it comes to book covers. Now, you could argue something like a painting would be, using a painting would be cheap, but it actually looks dignified, respectable. This does not at all. It just, no. But this is not the only one I have for The Lost World. Please hold on. And then you have this equally cheap looking thing, which just looks like it was, what is this, clip art from Microsoft Paint or something? Oh my lord, love a duck. I just can't understand it. I just really can't understand it. Oh boy, is this the kind of respect you give to the classics? Clearly not. We're pretty sure that's the only Lost Worlds we have, so let's carry on. Good lord. And carrying on with another story by Dickens, still not a Christmas Carol. We have David Copperfield, and doesn't that just look very good, very respectable? Cover image is cover illustration is well, doesn't really say, but it's very respectable. Then you just have this cheaply made thing which does not look respectable. My God, is there so much of the cheaply made stuff today? Yeah, after a quick check, yes, no more David Copperfield, just the one, but we're not out of the cheaply made stuff. Oh boy. My personal idea of hell would be being stuck in a library slash bookstore with only these covers on the shelves. Let's move on. Yes, well, more Dickens. This time it's Great Expectations. My cover, obviously, compared to this cheaply made, cluttered looking thing. God, I can't. What? I don't understand. What are these pictures from? Are they even from any screen adaptation of the story? I can't say because only adaptations I own are graphic novel adaptations. Yeah, well, technically one is a manga adaptation, the other comic book adaptation, not an actual graphic novel, but you still get the idea. None of them are film adaptations, so I have no idea if these are actually from a film adaptation. Oh boy, what is with these garish colors for the text? I just don't understand it. I just don't. Oh boy, let's move on to whatever is next. Oh my lord. Returning to Jane Austen, we have Persuasion. Now, my copy actually has two shades of blue on the cover, instead, but this is it, basically. Then we have this, which, doesn't even seem to be, doesn't even seem to have the same pictures from the same film adaptation, because I'm pretty sure that's Audrey Hepburn or someone else. Hepburn, maybe Elizabeth Taylor. But yeah, there's really no consistency with it now, is there? But it's not as bad as what uh else I've got. And good lord, what do we have here? Let's oh my lord. On the left we have uh In Love by Marcus Stone. On the right we have Who Gives a Damn? Because it's awful. It doesn't fit at all, because why on earth would it? Oh, Lord. That's the only other persuasion I've got, and let's be grateful for that. And move on to something else. And now for something for the students of modern politics. The Prince. And it's a very beautiful cover by Arcturus. And now let's start on well, if I'm not mistaken, I have three for this one, so let's get started. What? Okay, let me read off the back of my copy. It is much safer to be feared than loved. The most famous line of Machiavelli's The Prince reveals both his extraordinary insight and his willingness to disregard convention. Written as an instructional manual for the Florentine ruler Piero de' Medici, the insights of the prince range across a variety of subjects from politics to military strategy to the history of early 16th century Italy. Subsequent political leaders across the globe, including Oliver Cromwell, Napoleon Bonaparte, and Joseph Stalin, scrutinized the prince and used its ideas in their own governments. Thought-provoking and astute, The Prince is a must-read work for students of modern politics. What the hell does that have to do with whatever I'm looking at on the right? Anyway, let's move on to the next one. For the Prince. Ah, something for the lover of the fantasy genre. I do love the fantasy genre, but the fact is The Prince is not a fantasy novel. Oh, for goodness sake. Look, it's a very good looking image, but it in no way fits at all. But, anyway, we have, one more to look at, so why not? And, yeah. Once again, we return to our old, annoyance, Sheba Blake Publishing, and, I'm pretty sure that's a woman, not a man, so the title doesn't. And why is she? Why is a woman and a cat standing on a giant lily pad? I have no idea. It's just really bizarre. Really bizarre. Better move on. Oh boy. Next up with something from Mark Twain, we have The Prince and the Pauper. And now Exhibit B, another from the Library of Alexandria, Alexandria, showing what is clearly a scene from the Odyssey. Oh my lord. Oh boy. Tudor England, the 12th century Mediterranean. Clearly, they are the same thing. Oh, for God's sake. There's no short supply of paintings of Edward VI. You couldn't have used one of him. I mean, maybe that's not exactly fair. He did have a rather short reign, but still, they could have just used his portrait for the cover, but instead they used this. Jeez, even the portrait of Henry VIII would have worked because it begins in his reign, but this does not work at all. Yeah, it's maddening. It's maddening. It's maddening. Oh boy. Anyway, let's carry on. Next up, we return to Little Women, a perfectly logical and respectable cover. And then we have this, and I have no idea. I'm no stranger to modern dress adaptations, but I very much doubt this is in relation to one. These illustrated platinum editions are, oh boy. Oh boy, it's not as bad as it could be, but it's not great either. But anyway, Oh boy, I just don't understand. I really don't understand. I don't know, just a random woman T-posing from the side. It's not a lot you can say about this. It just doesn't fit. Let's move on. Now, this is a little bit different because, on the one hand, we have Tales of Mystery and Imagination, clearly something by Edgar Allan Poe, and doesn't that look respectable? Cover illustration is Coolbawn House, and on the right we have the work of Edgar Allan Poe, Volume 1, and just what in God's name am I even looking at? Oh, my lord. No, a image of, just using Edgar Allan Poe's face would have been more respectable, but more dignified than whatever the hell I'm looking at here. A smoking brain with a beer bottle. Ugh, it's it's just very bizarre, but let's face it, we've seen no shortage of bizarre book covers since I started this series. No videos. Oh my lord. But it's not, we're not quite done for the day yet. Let's carry on. And we return to Joseph Conrad's The Secret Agent. Something very respectable, as we've seen before. The cover showing Bridge by Moonlight by John Atkinson Grimshaw. And on the right we have something from the Illustrated Platinum Edition crowd. And it's, what? Oh my lord, it's, oh boy. Dare this be what I end it on? Or do I just move on to whatever's next? Well, let's see. Um, well, it's not as bad as the previous secret agent one well, I don't know. They're all pretty bad, aren't they? But, God, this just looks like a cover to a children's book. I just don't, I just can't for the life of me understand this. Who is approving these? Clearly not someone who'd actually read the books any more than the person assigned to create them actually read them. Ugh, God, mm, just can't do it anymore. There's been enough for today. I'll see you all next time. See ya.